The Lilly Ledbetter case, by the way, actually had nothing at all to do with equal pay. You know what it had to do with? The fact that the plaintiff in the case, Lilly Ledbetter, didn't bring her claim within the statutory limit. Her lawyers argued to the Supreme Court, among other things, that every paycheck she received was in essence an act of illegal discrimination, and therefore the deadline in the statute for bringing a lawsuit didn't really apply because every paycheck renewed the deadline. And the court said, no, that's not correct. It's a 180-day deadline with some exceptions. That's pretty much what the case was about. So what did the Lilly Ledbetter Act do? It basically said every time you get a paycheck, it's a separate act of discrimination. So, been a minimal lawsuits brought because most people who sue under existing federal law for wage discrimination do it within the time frame that was originally set. They don't wait. And there have only been a relative handful of such lawsuits since Obama signed the Lilly Ledbetter Act into law. Makes all this big noise about the Lilly Ledbetter Act. Has nothing to do with equal pay. But don't worry, he signed that into law. And when we talk about equal pay, one more time, when we talk about equal pay, we're not talking about the aggregate of men and women, one versus the other. We're talking about the same job, same hours, same responsibility, same seniority, that regardless of your sex, you're to be paid a substantially same income, salary. So he keeps bringing this up like this is some big civil rights act that he signed. It's nothing of the sort. Hans Bader at the Competitive Enterprise Institute, as the Heritage Foundation points out, he points out that the Supreme Court said no such thing about unequal pay, that was legal. It expressly left open the possibility that a claimant could sue even after the 180-day time limit under the relative statute, Title VII. The Supreme Court expressly stated that Ledbetter never raised the issue in her case. We previously declined to address whether Title VII suits are amenable to a discovery rule because Ledbetter doesn't argue that such a rule would change the outcome in her case. We have no occasion to address this issue. In other words, all of a sudden, every paycheck is an extension of the deadline. And what they said is, we've looked at the case. You really haven't even raised it. In fact, the Supreme Court has a long precedent of recognizing the doctrines of equitable tolling and estoppel for individuals who do not discover an injury or where a defendant hides his misbehavior. But that's not what happened in this case. That's not what happened in this case. She just waited too long. And all of a sudden, it's an equal pay case. Obama has repeated the falsehood that has been current in the mythical narrative advanced by Ledbetter in the press in her case, writes Heritage. Ledbetter has claimed publicly that she missed the deadline for filing her claim because she didn't know she was being discriminated against until 2 decades, 20 years after she started working at the company. But as has been pointed out by Bader, Stuart Taylor of National Journal and others, Ledbetter admitted in her own deposition that she knew her pay was extremely low compared to her colleagues for many years prior to when she filed the suit. She admitted that a superior told her in 1992 that she was being paid less than her peers. Yet after she lost her case, she and her supporters suddenly started claiming that Ledbetter never knew about the lower pay until the end of her career at Goodyear. That was a complete fabrication that no doubt sounded good in public for the purposes of making the case for Lilly Ledbetter. So like everything else Obama and the left do, they've created a lie. Then they pass a law that addresses a lie. And then they expect everyone else to go along with them. Well, everybody else didn't go along with them. Lilly Ledbetter Act. Oh, how noble. How virtuous. How could anyone vote against that? Vote against what? Trial lawyer's dream. And yet, as it turns out, not such a great dream after all. Let me be as clear as I know how. Let's put all the Supreme Court talk aside. Equal pay for equal work, stated generally, was federal law before Barack Obama was elected president. Okay? The Lilly Ledbetter Act had no effect on that. Zero. And Obama's running around the country because he knows there's all kinds of Obameroids out there, all kinds of drones who'll We'll take his word for it that he signed into law equal pay for equal work. He did no such thing. This man hasn't been looking out for women, unless he's hitting on them, and I haven't heard that he's doing that. I have no doubt he's a good family man. So how's he looking out for women? Oh, free contraceptives. If a Republican ran for president on a platform of free contraceptives for women, he would be rightly mocked. He would be called a throwback to the 50s. And yet Obama's entire campaign to attract female voters is free contraceptives for women. And this phony Equal Pay Act, which is not even an Equal Pay Act. These equal pay laws long existed before Obama became president of the United States. He's a complete fraud. And he's running on these fraudulent issues. And he believes you women are so damn stupid that you're going to buy into it. Oh, Obama, thank you for giving us equal pay. Thank you for contraceptives. Thank you. At the same time, have you been to a gas station lately? Have you been to a grocery store lately? Did you know less women are working than before? You heard Romney say it. We've said it here many, many times. There is no equal pay if you don't have a job. You're on welfare. You got to tune this guy out, ladies. He's so full of it, it's just unbelievable. But I wanted you to know. I wanted to spend a little time digging a little bit further into the Lilly Ledbetter Act and how great she is. 20 years at the same place. She figured, I'm going to bring a lawsuit. Well, you missed all the deadlines here. Her supporters in public said, because, she didn't know. There was no discovery. Oh, yes, she did. The deposition said she knew long before. So they signed into place a law that so extends the deadline for bringing these suits. What's going to happen with a big company? Just think this through. Are they going to be less likely or more likely to hire a woman? Because they know for every woman they hire, there's going to be a slip-and-fall lawyer hanging onto her skirt looking for a way to sue them. This doesn't help women. Doesn't help anybody except these phony, superficial politicians who use these laws and welfare and taxes and spending not for the benefit of society, for their own benefit.